Hi, Lynn. How are you? Thank you so much for being with us today. And I wanted to invite you because there is one of the topics that I'm more interested to know about is the topic about the honor killings in Middle East.
Mhm.
So before to start, I want that you tell us a little bit about you. What do you do? Who are you? What did you study? From where you come from, etc.
Okay. Thank you for this sweet introduction. Okay. So my name is Lyne. I've studied law at the Lebanese University in Lebanon. I am based in Beirut because that's where I'm from. I work currently in communication. I'm a communication consultant and associate. And I also have an alternative media platform based on Instagram, and now extending to other social media outlets, which is called The Lawyer, which I started with a colleague called Zainab, and she couldn't be with us today. So that's basically a quick introduction about what I do. And
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, so today we want to talk about the honor killings. I just want to say that this topic came because a couple of weeks ago there were honor killing in Lebanon from a girl called Zainab, and
Mhm.
she was murdered by her husband. So I want to know if you can tell us a little bit about her story, about what happened, and then to explain us what is the honor killing about.
Yes. Okay. So Zainab's story is complicated because we heard different perspectives from different witnesses. So some witnesses have said that the husband was sitting in a cafe the night before and he received a phone call from a number he doesn't know. So he answered the phone call and did it, then went home and killed his wife. Others have said that he found pictures of his wife without the hijab on, and he presumed that she was cheating on him and she was sending pictures to another man. And he killed her because he wanted to, probably, as we were saying, honor killing, he wanted to clear himself from what she did. So he felt like he had ownership on her and he had to kill her uh, in order to wash the shame away. This is what is technically said when an honor killing happens. So we go back to the definition of an honor killing, and it's usually killing a family member, most of the time a woman or a girl. And in some cases, it's because of something she did, which is considered as shameful. And the family does that, or the husband or whoever does that to wash this shame away. That's it, basically, as simple as it is. Yes, I remember that the husband has apparently killed the wife in front of her kids, and they were at home when the crime happened. It is presumed that he fled either to Syria or Germany, where his brother lives, and the kids are still in Baalbek, in the mount, like near the Syrian borders, around 1 hour away. So yeah.
Okay. That's super hard. I was reading like normally honor killings happens a lot basically to women
Mhm.
and to also homosexual people a lot, like gays, lesbians,
Yes,
etc.
yes.
Yeah, that is super sad, super hard.
Because in Lebanon, exactly. In Lebanon, we do not have societies that really accept homosexuality just yet, like the West. And it's still considered a huge taboo, despite having communities that are very acceptant of them, of the LGBTQ community. However, Lebanon has a very conservative society. Despite it being the country that is leading with the advancement of women's rights and whatever, yet it's still a very conservative community, and especially in the mountains and in rural areas. So we will find a lot of these cases, and the media will not be covering everything most of the time.
It's super hard. I wanted to ask about
Hmm.
like,
Yes.
is there any type of laws who protect or against honor killings in Lebanon?
I'm gonna tell you something. There was a law back in the day that kind of made it legal, or kind of made it that, not 100% is a crime, and it used it as a reason to, let's say, like not for example, I do an honor killing, I will not be getting a lifetime a full sentence. I will be getting, let's say, 25 years, because an honor killing is permissible, because I had the reason to do it. And this law was thankfully removed, and it's not existent anymore. And it was actually just removed just a few years ago, not so long ago. We do have also a familial, actually a domestic violence law, which exists, and it's also around 3 or 4 years old, which is also quite
Super new.
recent.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very new. And it basically defines what domestic violence is and whatever. Yet it didn't really target honor killings and what to do in the cases of honor killings. So we still lack legislative activity in considering honor killings.
Because I saw that other Arab countries has many times the law against honor killings, but they, for example, if it's
Yes.
a type of a murder, but it's an honor killing, is way less years than
Exactly.
if it's a normal killing. Like maybe if a normal killing is 20 years, they will give them 5 years if it's an honor killing.
Yes. This
Something
was the case.
like this.
This was basically the case here. Yes, this was the case in Lebanon, but it's not anymore, thankfully.
Okay. Yes, I think Lebanon and Tunisia are leading in Arab countries as the more progressive towards women's
Yes.
rights. Thank God.
More or less, yes.
Okay, how common can be the honor killings in Lebanon?
They are not so common yet. Sometimes the whole atmosphere or what is going on in the country can actually affect it. For example, I'm gonna give you an example. Since the economic collapse in 2019, there were a lot of honor killings. According to the Internal Security Forces, 9 women were killed in domestic violence crimes between January and October 2020, which is the start of the crisis, and when actually people stayed at home and there was quarantine and lockdown and whatever. Exactly. In the same period of time, the ISF also reported that they received over 1,400 cases of domestic violence calls in 2021. So basically, they doubled from 2020 till 2021. In 2020, they were around 700. And then the ISF received over 1,400 calls of women pleading for help of domestic violence. Yes, so it's basically doubled. So I believe that the economic collapse can actually affect such behaviors and increase in the rate of honor killings.
Yeah, for sure. Also here in Latin America, that there is a huge problem everywhere in the world. Like actually, when you notice what is a violence, it's something huge.
Yes.
For sure, in the lockdown used to be way more
yes.
Exactly, because the people were all the time in their house, so the person who makes the violence is in the house all the time with the woman, plus the economic crisis, etc.
Yes.
I have a question here. What are the things that can be considered for the law a justification of honor? For example, if we are going to say that now a crime is committed in a house and a woman, call it the daughter, the wife, the sister-in-law, the cousin, the mother, whatever, it's been murdered. How the law will consider this is an honor? What action it's making the woman, because I really believe it's a fact that a woman don't deserve the death for any type of action she commits, but what type of things they are doing to justify, to make the justification of the acting of honor killing?
There are two main reasons to justify honor killings, which is first cheating, especially when the couple is married, and the second one is sex outside marriage. This is basically the main two that make most sense if you want. However, in more conservative communities, it goes to just talking to a boy. you
I
know?
hear this several times. For example, I hear two types of news with the case of Zainab. One, it says that, for sure, I hear news from our side, not by the Lebanese media, but it says that there are like two cases. One, that she was having pictures naked in her phone, and other that because she removed the hijab and she had pictures without the hijab.
Yes.
Like, none of them is like cheating. But I think it's too much conservative, no?
So yes, it's because he will be like, why are you having pictures without your hijab on? Who are you sending them to? So this is how he probably assumed that she was cheating.
Super hard, super hard.
Yes,
I have a question
this is
that
yes.
for me is super important, because I have this conversation the last time I was there in Lebanon. Okay, in Mexico or in Latin America, there is a huge topic since several years about single mothers. There is a lot of single mothers, like girls who had a relationship outside marriage, and they got pregnant, and the guy disappear, literally
Goodbye.
disappear, goodbye. And this is something like from generations and generations. There are a lot of single mothers and I know friends of mine, and it's something like, and every time it's more normal. Actually, now a woman can say, even, I want to have a kid, but I don't want to get married. I want to be a single mother. This is 100% normal. Before, it used to be more because the men used to disappear. And I was in Lebanon, I was like, why I don't see single mothers? I don't see single mothers in Middle East.
Yeah,
Where are
you
they?
barely have any.
What
Because
happened in these cases? They can suffer honor crime if they get pregnant before, without getting married,
yes.
or what happened in these cases?
Yes. She will have to do an illegal abortion, for example. This is one of the cases. Because abortion is not legal in Lebanon in any way, unless the baby will probably the baby's dead or might have serious implications on his mother's health or her mother's health. Yet, yes, actually, getting pregnant outside of marriage is a big reason for honor killings as well. Or they would just tell her, go live alone. We won't pay anything. We will not do anything. That's if they don't kill her. So the family will not take responsibility of the mother nor her baby. They don't care. They don't. This is basically also something shameful a woman might do.
Oof, and it's super complicated. Later, I will want to make other video about this topic, because also if the woman cannot give the nationality and several things to the kids under this culture, it's a huge deal, because if I have a kid, they will be Mexican, they will be French, they will have my last name. It's normal. But if in Middle East, to be Lebanese is because your father is Lebanese.
Yes.
And in heritage, it almost go to all, like in a lot of cases, to the men, etc. It's a huge deal to be a single mother. It's super hard.
It is. Okay. It's very hard.
Okay, going back to this, it's like, what type of protection or actions it's making the government to solve the issue of the honor killing?
Unfortunately, we don't have preventive measures. They only take action after the crime happens. We don't have enough awareness about this. The government is not fully aware of domestic violence to start with, not just honor killings. The ISF are not trained enough to accept or to deal with domestic violence, let alone honor killings. So what happens is the crime happens, and they start running around trying to find the killer. And then when they get the killer in 2 days, they be like, okay, we got the killer in 2 days. Look at us, we did it. Yet we don't care if you did get him in a day or two. We care how will we prevent other women from being killed. So we don't really have any preventive measures in that case. Not at all.
Yeah, and more, for example, I was seeing, like, in this case of Zainab, the woman who just passed away, they said, like,
yes,
her brother was happy because of the action of the husband. So it's also something inside the system. So here also the question is like, is there the society, because many times, for example, I give you an example about other case, a lot of countries who has the genital mutilation of women, the countries are against it as by law, but the population is agree about it. So the law can, like,
So you have two different poles. Yes.
Exactly. So people will not denounce, will not do absolutely anything to against the crime, because the people disagree about it. So here's like how much the population is still agree about the honor killings. Like it is considered in by big like percentage of the population something really bad, or people really still believing the honor killings is something good.
Look, we are kind of divided between two communities in Lebanon. You have the highly conservative community. Actually, it's different communities. You have the progressive communities where feminism is a top priority and protection of women is a top priority. Yet you have the less progressive ones, which are like, you know, we shouldn't kill women, but at the same time, why did she cheat on him? You know? So they want to justify the killing, and at the same time, they don't want to. And then you have the extremely conservative communities, which are basically tribes. You know, in Lebanon there are tribes which are like families, but they're basically tribes, and these tribes are usually very conservative and very religious. So they are the ones that still fully support honor killings. So you know, you have like different groups of opinions in Lebanon.
Okay,
but the majority thankfully does not support it.
Here's something important, like, okay, if the honor killing is made normally by cheating or having sex without outside of marriage, etc., or in more conservative cultures, just talk to a guy or remove your hijab, whatever. What also this happen against the men, or is just something selected to women? Like, what will happen if in these small societies the man has sex with someone like outside marriage?
He's a man.
He can do it.
He can do whatever he wants. Yes, he can do it. Nobody's gonna tell him, why did you do that? You know, because he's a man, and technically nobody's gonna know if he lost his virginity or not. So you know, it goes back to a very complicated concept. So you know, man can play around. He's a man. He can do it. Whatever. You're a woman. You cannot do it. So yeah, it's a very patriarchal society.
For sure. 99% of the world it is. But for example,
yes, unfortunately,
if the woman cheat her husband, me and my story, if a husband cheat the husband and the husband realize, he can kill also the other guy and be considered honor killing, or it will be considered a killing normally.
If he kills the other guy and not his wife.
How? Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not really honor killing, because he didn't kill his wife. So technically,
so it will be considered as an honor, as a normal killing. And by the way, in the schools or there is NGOs who are doing something to make the population change this mentality related to women.
Yes. You know, the most important components of the Lebanese societies when it comes to awareness about domestic violence, women rights, and whatever are actually the NGOs and the non-governmental organizations and civil society organizations, because they are the ones that worked on enacting the law that protects women from domestic violence. They are the ones who do campaigns, marketing campaigns about these issues. So they are leading the fight, and unfortunately the parliament, the government is not doing that much. But yes, we do have a lot of awareness when it comes to that. They are trying their best, but you are trying to raise something from zero, because we didn't have that before. So you have like, you're building a new base for the next generation. So all these efforts will maybe be shown in the next years with the newer generations, hopefully.
Okay, I have a question. Something I learned a lot about the complicated is the law of Lebanon. is that you have like the civil law, but you also have the religious law in things who are concerned to the individuals, like marriage, divorce, inheritance, etc., custody, etc. So each religion has its own law. Like Muslims
Yes.
don't have the same laws as the Christians, or even between Maronite, Orthodox, Roman Catholic might get
Yes.
kind of differences. Also Shia, Sunni, or Druze, etc.
Yes.
In this type of honor killings, or this type of home violence, because it's something related to family or individuals, is judged by everybody has the same law, or each religion has his own laws?
No, because it's a crime, so it goes to the unified penal law in Lebanon. So it's under the same law.
Okay, so if this
But
happened
sometimes,
with a Muslim or with a Christian or with a Druze, it's the same.
yes, it's the same thing. Yes. But maybe the religious authority might come up and say, why are you doing that to him? He did this out of honor. We don't know. This never really happened, but it's possible, like the head of Maronites could come and say, like, no, he did the right thing, or the head of Shiites could come and say, no, he did the right thing, according to the religion that allows it.
So I wanted to ask you, is this happening in all the religions? And is just something related to a background, like economically, culturally background, or it
Actually,
has?
surprisingly, no, it did happen in different religions, this
Like this
honor.
can happen between in Muslims families, in Druze families, in Christian families.
Yes.
But my theory is related about the how much these populations are conservative, because you can find really, really, really
Mhm.
conservative Christian families, and you can really
Exactly.
find really, 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 really conservative and close-minded Druze
Yeah.
families or Muslims. But also they are, because of the story of the country, there are certain religions and certain more poor areas that might be led by a certain religion.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
really believe.
like um, for example, last year a Christian man did kill his wife in Jbeil with a
Wow.
hunting rifle. Yeah, with a hunting rifle. So
When
they are from
when
everything. Yes.
when this happened?
I think it happened in 2021. I'm not sure. I can
Wow.
give you the link if I find it again. But it's recent. It's not too old.
And it was okay. It
But
was
the
in
husband was
Byblos. Okay,
crazy.
Ishbel is Byblos because people knows Byblos is
Yes, in
Byblos.
Jbeil.
Ishbel.
Exactly.
So, some okay, Ishbel, for the people who doesn't know, because I think the 90% of the people who will see this video, they never been in Lebanon. Okay, Byblos, it's
Yeah.
like a Christian area, so that means a Christian guy killed his wife in Byblos a couple of years ago, also by an honor killing.
Yes.
So it's not something related about, oh, Christians don't do this. It's something related to Muslims or related to other religion. This might happen everywhere.
Yes.
Exactly.
He
This
he
is
he actually killed his ex-wife because he was always bothering her and going to her house, and he ended up killing her because
super
probably was
hard.
not over.
In the cases of the honor killings, is the population of Lebanon doing something like kind of protest, go with the family, support them? I don't know,
Um,
burning downtown, something
Look,
like
for
graffiti,
example,
no
in
more
Zainab's
murder.
case, in Zainab's case, for example, the family, I don't want to say they're known as a family name to be dangerous, but they are a certain group that you cannot deal with because they're stronger than the state, and they can hurt you, and they can
Why
hurt
are they?
whoever they want.
Who are, I just hear
Yeah.
me, like they are like a tribe or politicians or what?
Yes. They're a tribe. They're a tribe, and they're um they have a certain kind of authority in some areas, and you cannot deal with them. Even the state cannot deal with them. So they're just left to do whatever they want, and they will never be prosecuted for anything.
And what will happen with the kids of
Um,
Sinai?
Nobody knows. Maybe the law of the religious court she's under maybe they will give them back to her parents or her siblings, or maybe they will stay with the parents of the killer.
But they are the
It's
same.
very
Her family is
complicated.
the same, because if they accepted the type of murder,
Yeah,
and they are agree about her husband killing her own daughter, they are the same. So
yeah, they're the same.
there
They're
is,
criminals as well. You
wow,
don't have
so hard.
child protection services in Lebanon. There's nothing that will protect the child from both families. So the children have to go either to the victim's family or the killer's family, which is their father.
Super
It's
hard,
very unfair.
super hard.
Yes.
And for example, in the cases of the millions and millions of refugees that Lebanon has, when this happened, the honor killings, they do something to protect the
No. Maybe the organization's working on the field with, like the UN or whatever. Maybe they're doing something to protect them. But as the government, it's completely absent from the refugee camps. And it's
wow.
and they end up blaming refugees for some crimes that might happen, and they forget that the government does not give them any protection, any type of support, anything. They're just left there with the organizations. So it's unfair. It's very unfair.
It's so complicated. I swear, it's so sad,
Yes,
so complicated.
it
Uh,
is.
what the last question is, what can be the solution? Like, what can the government or the women can do in this situation? Is there any type of way that, for example, here, since I was a kid, there started like movements to started realizing the home violence before it reached to the
Mm-hmm.
level of murder. Like, okay, if
Yes.
your husband do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but also it's the parents. In the case of honor killings, it's like also in their own house, it's like this. What can the people do to help these cases? Is there NGOs that they can donate or
Yes.
talk about these topics? What, as you Lebanese, what can you say? What can we do for all these girls?
There are many things that can be done on this front. First is pushing for a law, not only that criminalizes domestic violence, but also all forms of violence against women and girls in general. And we have to ensure that all investigations and court sessions and trials remain confidential and private. We should establish a specialized unit actually for family violence within the internal security forces, which is the police in Lebanon. We should secure a court protection order for victims. We should be seeking for the application of the power of law. We should be seeking for preventive measures, not only measures that follow the crime. We should be supporting all the NGOs that work on that front, which I can name some from, which are Kafa
Yeah, for sure.
and another one called Abad. They work tirelessly for protecting marginalized communities and especially women in Lebanon. You know, I think awareness is very important in this case, and it will consequently, it will be very important, and it will affect. It will be very important in reducing those incidents of domestic violence, and which can lead to honor killings in most of the time. So yes, that's basically it.
Super hard. So yes, the thing is still talking about these topics, because when we talk, we realize that it's closer.
Yes.
As people don't
Yeah.
speak about this, we normalize
Yeah.
it. So people don't realize
Yes.
that there is a problem. I always say, not because
Yes.
something doesn't happen inside your house
Mm.
means doesn't happen around you, or, and at the
Yes.
end of the time,
Exactly.
if there is not a protection, like, I hope this never happened to us, but I always say, if there is not a protection of women, we never know who will be getting married with.
Who will
We
be the
never
next victim?
know
Yes.
exactly. Maybe we can be the next one. Maybe we fall in love with someone, and me as married with a
It
Lebanese,
turns out.
or any other person, and as I
Yes.
said, it's not to throw it to Lebanon or to Arab countries. I hate this. This can happen
Yes.
everywhere. But in the sad thing, it's like, maybe this can happen to someone who fall in love, who make a mistake,
Yes.
who decide to a woman who took a decision and finished murder, because we never know the person never
Really.
till this, and if the society doesn't protect you, this is the really sad thing. So the topic is to speak about
Exactly.
it, to keep
Yes.
speaking about it. So thank you,
Yes. Always.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, you.
And okay, I will for sure share all the, tell us your page, how they can follow your work, etc. And also I will be sharing everything, so all the people here who speak English, because your
Yes.
page is also in English, no?
Yes, it's in English. We cover mainly Lebanese news and international news. It's called The Lawyard on Instagram with the purple logo, so it's not really too hard to spot it. We post on the daily updates with a morning brief with all the news that people might be interested in.
Okay, so I will share it all so people can follow your work. Thank you so much,
Yes,
and
thank you so much.